Hi everyone, welcome to Eden's Secret. Look what I've got. Well, I've actually had it for at least 3 months and I have been using it, but sorry I haven't uploaded any videos yet. But today is the day that we are using the ECOSOYA wax. So glad it's back in stock, and what's even better is they have a melt brand. So this is specifically for making wax melts. Been so excited to show you it because it is so much better than that GoldenWax, without question. I've had 0 frosting issues. You can pour the wax at higher temperature, and the wax melts unmold absolutely brilliantly. Let's have a look at the wax, shall we? So look at the quality of those beautiful ECOSOYA wax beads. But this wax is just excellent quality. So good. So I think it's time to go and make some wax melts. Let's go and make them, shall we? I bet a lot of you are happy to see these moulds, are you? Today we're making wax melts, just in our regular snap bar moulds today. So I've got a heat gun here, and I'm just going to warm up those moulds with the heat gun. Okay, so I'm going to add half a litre of this wax, which is EcoWax, which is back in business. And how fabulous, they've actually got a melt range. So I bought the melt wax, which is specifically for creating wax melts. So I'm so chuffed about that. So I've been using MICAs in my wax melts for quite some time, but I never thought to make a big deal about it. And you know what, as time's gone on, I actually prefer them. I prefer to use MICA to wax chips or Becquerel candle dyes. They're all good, but I think MICA's the best because it gives there's such a huge selection of colours. And it gives the wax such a beautiful look to it. Now, I'm actually using green pigment today, so you're not going to get that gorgeous pearly effect that you get with MICA. But we can always add some lovely glitter, green glitter. This isn't biodegradable glitter. It's fine if you're making candles. You can use non-biodegradable glitter for candles. It's just cosmetics that you can't use them in anymore, because obviously the glitter goes down the sink and into the rivers and then into the ocean. But with a wax melt, which you can melt multiple times, not just once. That's the great thing about my wax melts, is you can get multiple melts out of them. So when you've, I don't know, when the wax is solidified after the first melt, you can use it tomorrow and the next day and the next day. At least 4 times you'll get a good scent through off them. So I've got 456 grams here of wax, and I want to put 10% in there. So it's really quite simple. 456 grams, say 450, just knock the last number off, and it tells you 45 grams. So I'm actually going to add 45 grams of Elf Sweat, which is from Soap Wash. That's what I've got here. You don't need any more than that. That is an ample amount of fragrance to go in any wax. Some of the waxes do say you can put 20-something% fragrance in there, so obviously it's up to everyone how much fragrance they want to put in their wax, but I find 10% works great, even 8%, or if you do want to save a little bit of money, go for 6%. So just giving that a nice stir, and we're just going to check the temperature. We're at it's quite low already. We're at 66 degrees. When you've got glitter in your wax, you'll need to keep stirring it, because the glitter sinks to the bottom. I'm talking about stirring it in the jug, not in the mould. Now, I find these Pyrex jugs are fantastic because the lip on them is excellent for getting a neat pour. And you don't need to move the wax up and down the mould like this. Just pour it in from one end or the other, and then just watch the sides, and as soon as it's full, stop. Better not to overfill it. You're better just underfilling it rather than overfilling it, because it makes them a little difficult to wrap if you overfill. I absolutely love this fragrance. It's like candy canes, candy corn, soda pop. It's gorgeous. Just a gorgeous, gorgeous scent for around Christmas time. These ones here are just going to be my sample snack bars. So I've got quite a bit of glitter left in the bottom, so I'm just going to scrape that out with a silicone spoon. And so instead of washing out your container, just take a paper towel and give it a rub out. Rub all the glitter out and as much wax as you can, because your glass jar is actually nice and warm, and you don't want to lose that heat in there. And yeah, there's a tiny bit of wax in there, but it's not going to taint or interfere with the smell of the next lot that we're going to put in there. There's always a song that comes to mind whenever I'm making Elf Sweat, whatever I'm making it in, and it's that song by Olivia Newton-John, Magic. Have to believe we are magic. That one. I love that song so much. In fact, it was on The Leftovers. That's a TV show, by the way. And that scene where they play that song is like, I must have watched it 10 times. I love it so much. Okay, so again, we're just pouring half a litre of wax into this Pyrex jug. The Pyrex jug's nice and warm. You can, if you want to warm your Pyrex jug up, just pop it in the microwave for 1 minute. Now let's check the temperature. So at the moment we're at 85.7 degrees Celsius. So it's a little bit hot to put our fragrance in. I like to put my fragrance in at about 75. So we're using obviously, like Christmas cookies are gonna have like, well, you know what colour cookies are, don't you? So I'm actually using just bronze mica from Mineral Makeup Ingredients. Putting a half teaspoonful in there. And you get that beautiful, beautiful pearl glow. It's absolutely gorgeous, isn't it? Gorgeous, gorgeous colour. So all the links to the colours, the wax, fragrances, they're all in the description box below the video, just in case you haven't seen one of my videos before, Eden's Secret 1. That's where you'll find all the information that you need. Okay, so we're just going to add a bit more glitter. Just be very delicate with it. This stuff, if you spill it, it sticks to everything. You cannot get it off. It's absolute nightmare. Just been a bit generous with those. Trying to film with one hand and sprinkle with the other. Okay, so let's get those poured. We're at 62 degrees centigrade or Celsius. So it smells like just like Christmas cookies. So basically a shortbread biscuit with sugar icing or fondant on the top and sugar sprinkles. Delicious, if you like that kind of thing. That's the great thing about fragrance. It just gives you such a pleasure without having to actually eat something to get that pleasure. So it's all the fun without the calories. Again, so I'm just going to scrape that out with a silicone spoon and then wipe it out with some kitchen roll. Okay, so that's the wax melt in the freezer. I'm going to set the timer now. Obviously 20 minutes seem to be enough. Try for 25 minutes, half an hour if you want to be safe. The great thing is once they are set, you can pile them one on top of the other. So I'm going to set the timer now for 20 minutes, and then in 20 minutes we're going to take these out of the freezer. Okay, so let's set that timer now. I've already got it on 20 minutes. So we'll just click start and then the alarm will go off in 20 minutes time, and that's when I'll take them out. You see, this is that glitter. It sticks on to everything. It does rinse off under the tap, but as far as like worktops and things like that, it takes ages to get all these little bits off. You've got to pick some of them off like one by one, or just get some double side, or get some sellotape or sticky tape, and you can peel them off that way. Okay, so while those wax melts are setting in the freezer, I'm going to show you the easy way to work out how much fragrance to put in your wax at 10%. So if you've got 50 grams of wax and you want to know what 10% of that 50 grams is, literally just knock the end number off. That gives you 5 grams. So you would put 5 grams of fragrance into 50 grams of wax. Say the number was a little bit more unusual, like 165 grams of wax. I still would just knock that end number off, giving me 16 grams of fragrance. 271 grams of wax. Again, I would just knock that end number off, giving me 27 grams of fragrance to go into 271 grams of wax. Say we've got 2.5 kilos of wax, which is 2500 grams. Again, I'm just going to knock that end number off. 250 grams of fragrance is 10% of 2,500 grams of wax. 4772 grams of wax. Sorry, my writing looks hideous. I'm actually writing sideways so that you can see what I'm writing. So the official amount you would put in, because we're just going to knock that 2 off the end, so you would put 477 grams of fragrance into that wax. Now, yeah, I know there's a 2, and the exact measurement would be 477.2 grams of fragrance, but that 0.2 is neither here nor there, so don't even worry about it. So that is the easy way to work out 10% fragrance content in your wax. It'll get a bit more complicated if you're going to do 8% or 6%, but we'll do that at a future date, shall we? Okay, so it's time to get the wax melts out of the freezer. We're actually going to unmold the elsewhere wax melts. And just always best to just peel it away from the sides like so, and press your fingers underneath to make it pop out. Look at that unmold compared to the GoldenWax. It's brilliant. All the corners are sharp on the snap bars. And no frosting in sight. Still think it's important to keep your temperatures correct, but it doesn't have to be as spot on as it did with the GoldenWax. Now I actually like to stack my wax melts like this. I know it's suggested that you leave them for quite some time before wrapping to let them cure, but I just leave them for 24 hours and then I package them. So let's unmold these Mrs. Claus cookies and see how they've come out. Remember, if you leave them in the freezer too long, they will crack. But even if they do, don't worry, you can just remelt them and re-pour them. That's the great thing with wax compared to soap. Soap, there are things you can do, but you can't like remake cold processed soap once you've once it hasn't worked or once it's saponified. So you see that glitter does look really pretty on there, doesn't it?
We give thanks for this. the love that we share. Oh.
I'm just anticipating another question now. The temperature of them when they come out of the freezer. 20 degrees, so they're not that cold.
You dazzle us all, from big to small. Warm laughter and white smiles, my presents stacked in piles.
And then these will just be the 2 sample bars. I'm not making a lot all in one go just because I've got orders sitting there waiting, and all these wax melts that I'm making now I was out of stock of, so I've needed to make lots of different ones really quickly.